Hey, this is Jeff. Nice to see you. Welcome to one of my videos. This is one of my videos in my Discovering Kelowna series. I moved to Kelowna about a year ago, and I set myself the personal challenge of seeing all 203 city and regional parks within the city limits in a year, and I'm getting near the end. It's going great. This week, I'm on the north side of Kelowna, and I mean the north side, north of Glenmore, north of the university. I'm seeing 4 parks in Quail Ridge, and then also the regional park, Stevens Coyote Ridge. So it's exciting. This area used to be ranching. It's got a lot of hills and ponds and things like that. And it's been turned into some subdivisions and other things. And we're gonna have an exploration and see the parks that are in this area. So come along. Hey, so my first park of the week is Quail Place Park. This is a neighborhood park off of Quail Place. Unlike some neighborhood parks, this has got a connection to other features of the area, in particular the Quail Flume Trail. This is a long linear park that follows a former flume that was operated by the Glenmore and Ellison Irrigation District. Glenmore is a drier area than much of Kelowna, and the irrigation district there brought water over from Mill Creek and the Ellison area over the hills here to those neighborhoods. So there was a long flume. It's a pretty flat trail. I'm not going to hike the trail today, but we are in this park near the north end of the trail. It's a really interesting park. It's kind of 2 triangles connected by a bit of trail. The first triangle is over by Quail Place, and it just has a little bench and some grass, and it provides an entry. And then this section where I am now is kind of hidden behind the backyards of people along Quail Place. So it's well protected. You can see they got a little playground here. It takes up most of the area, but you know, it's got to be a safe place. It's a beautiful place, and connected to the trail. So this is idyllic. It's good for kids, and you're gonna see it if you hike that trail. Quail Place Park. Hey, so here I am, my next park for the week. This is Carney Park. This is a really cool park. At first glance, it looks like it's just another neighborhood park, although with a very cool modern design. It's about 10 years newer than Quail Place Park. That was done in the late 90s, and this neighborhood, a different phase, was done in about 2004, and this park was officially opened in 2009. So you can tell from the way that they got the concrete and things on the ground, the design just looks newer. Anyway, in addition to being a lovely cultivated neighborhood park with a playground and a field and a picnic table and things, it also preserves the high point of Quail Ridge, and there's a whole natural area that's been untouched except for a trail that goes through it that preserves the highest bluffs of Quail Ridge and allows lovely views all around. So if I turn around, whoop, you can see that the sidewalk does a little turn there, and it just stops, and there's a natural trail that goes up the hill, and it kind of goes into that forested area you can see over there. So up there you get amazing views of the land all around. You can look east and see Ellison and the airport. You can look north and see Duck Mountain on the west side of Ellison Lake, which used to be Duck Lake. That's still in Kelowna. There's no suburbs up there. That's north of here, but it's still part of Kelowna. And you can look west and look across the landfill to the Glenmore Highlands and Coyote Ridge. So it's a wonderful view. This park is named after Tom Carney, who used to own the land. So he came out in 1925 and bought the land and started the TC Ranch. And in the 80s, the Carney family sold off this Quail Ridge part to be developed into a suburb, and they've honored them and him by naming this park after them. So an important philanthropist and a member of the community in the 20th century. So anyway, this is a neighborhood park, but I'd say it's also a destination park. Worth a visit, Carney Park. Hey, so here I am at my 3rd park of the week. This is the Glenmore Dog Park. So this is a big dog park, and it's got a lovely slope. It's got a lovely view. It's a little bit out of town in a rural location. So we are at the north end of the Glenmore Valley, north of John Hindle, where you turn off to go to the university. So no subdivisions around here. Definitely a rural place. We're across the street from the landfill, and we're very close to where you turn off to McKinley, actually. So just like up in McKinley, a lot of noisy ravens. I don't know if you can hear them, but anyway, this is a beautiful place to take your dog if you just want to let them run around, because it is a huge dog park with a beautiful slope. It reminds me a bit of the Ellison dog park, less shrubbery, just all grass. So it's a big looping trail around it, and if you're willing to come out of town a little bit, then you can come and bring your dog to the North Glenmore Dog Park. Hey, here I am coming to you from my fourth park of the week, the huge and fabulous Stevens Coyote Ridge Regional Park. This is an enormous park. I hiked around here for about 3 hours, and I think I saw about a quarter of it. It is a large chunk of land in a very rural part of Kelowna that is pretty native in terms of its vegetation and its ecosystems. It's a really nice place. It's just a large, what is it, a quarter section and a half of land just here. It's several ridges, parallel ridges. So this park takes up a good chunk of land that used to belong to Kay Stevens, who donated it to make this park possible, which is why it's the Stevens Coyote Ridge Park. This park has actually a series of ridges, 3 or 4 ridges, all parallel, running north-south. Parallel, of course, with the Glenmore Highlands and that. All scraped clean by the powerful glaciers that came through here about 10,000 years ago, heading south for the US and the Columbia River. So it's fun to climb a ridge and then get down into the valley in between them and see some wet spots. Now the trails here are all still very informal. There's no signage in the park. There's no big sign at the beginning telling you what the trails are or where they go or what you can find. So I just, went in and had a look around and saw a couple of things. I found the things I wanted to see and the things I wanted to show you. The first trail I took headed down into the southeast corner of the park, and I got to see the beautiful Twin Lakes. Could be called Twin Lake. I don't think it's got an official name yet, but that's one I've seen online. That was beautiful. And then I hiked back. I took another trail and ended up on top of Coyote Ridge, which is the central ridge in the park, or so I assume. Again, no signage really. When I got to the south end of Coyote Ridge, there was an amazing view that I'm going to share with you now. Looking east here, we can see the Ellison Valley, and in the mid-ground, we can see Quail Ridge, where we were, and the top of that ridge, you can see where Carney Park is. If you turn this way, behind that tree is Black Mountain, and below that is Roberts Lake. And if we turn this way more, you can see Dilworth, and then you can see the whole Glenmore Valley laid out beneath us with Kelowna in the distance. And then over here, that first bump you can see is the backside of the east parcel of Knox Mountain with Wilden beneath it. You can see a couple lakes there, including Still Pond on the left. Then here we have the McKinley Ridge, which is the Glenmore Highlands. And then that comes down, and in this valley right in front of me is where Light Blue Lake is. And if we continue on, you can see the mountains on the other side of Okanagan Lake. And we keep going around, you can see a little bit of Okanagan Lake there. And of course, towering above everything is Mount Tehetquin, tallest mountain in the northern Thompson Plateau. So that was one of the things I really wanted to find in this park. It was a beautiful view. I had 2 goals: lakes, views. So I'm glad I could share that with you. And I know there's a lot more to explore in this park. These trails look like they've been here for a while. I think this whole northern part of Kelowna, it wasn't part of Kelowna until the 70s, until the provincial government amalgamated Kelowna and Rutland and the Mission and everybody into one city of Kelowna. And so before that, this was just a rural area between towns. And there's some trails here that look like they were made by ATVs or some, they were made not by the parks people. So I know the parks people manage this now, and they lead tours in here, and they know what they've got, but they haven't necessarily done a lot to modify the trails or to provide signage on the trails. It's just a beautiful rural place, a wilderness place near town where you can come and hike around and do some exploring on your own. So I still have some exploring to do here, but I am very glad that I came and had a look around in Stevens Coyote Ridge Regional Park. Well, there you go. That was my adventure for this week. I saw 4 parks, which is great because it keeps me on pace for my challenge. And I had a good time looking around the northern end of North Glenmore. So if you think about the northern end of the Glenmore Valley being occupied by the Glenmore landfill, we saw parks on both sides of the landfill. On the east side, we explored Quail Ridge, a subdivision developed 20-25 years ago around a golf course, which we've seen before. And we saw Quail Place Park on the Quail Flume Trail, and we saw Carney Park, which had a beautiful view. It was more than at first I thought it would be. And then here on the west side of the landfill, we explored Coyote Ridge at the base. Along Glenmore Road, we saw the Glenmore Dog Park, and then up in the hills, we saw Stevens Coyote Ridge Regional Park, and it was fabulous and wonderful. I had a great time, and I'm glad you came along and had a look with me. Behind me, you can see a different view than one we saw earlier. You can see Duck Mountain to the north, which of course is north of Quail Ridge, and still in Kelowna. So very exciting. And I hope you have a chance to come out and visit Stevens Coyote Ridge Regional Park. Maybe you'll discover a part that I haven't discovered yet, and you'll have a great time, I know it. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I got a few more weeks left in my challenge, and after that, who knows what I'll explore. And I hope to see you again next week.